Hurricanes are the world's worst storms. That may seem strange because tornadoes have stronger winds that can reach more than 300 miles per hour. Hurricane winds rarely blow at even half that speed. But a tornado is usually less than a mile wide on the ground, and even a small hurricane is hundreds of miles wide. Tornadoes usually last less than an hour, while hurricanes last days or even weeks. Every second, a large hurricane releases the energy of 10 atomic bombs, like those used in World War II. A hurricane can cause more damage than any other single weather event. Hurricanes have numbers as well as names. The Saffir-Simpson hurricane scale is based on the strength of the hurricane's spinning winds. The weakest hurricanes are rated 1, and the strongest are rated 5. Hurricanes with a rating of 3 or higher are major hurricanes. There are only about 3 major hurricanes a year, but even hurricanes with a rating of 1 or 2 are very dangerous. The Saffir-Simpson hurricane scale. Category 1. Wind speeds of 74 to 95 miles per hour. Slight damage to trees, shrubbery, and mobile homes. Irene in 1999 was a Category 1 when it hit southeast Florida. Category 2. Winds of 96 to 110 miles per hour. Moderate damage. Some trees and mobile homes blown over. Houses damaged. Coastal roads may flood 2 to 4 hours before the eye arrives. Floyd in 1999 was a Category 2 when it hit the North Carolina coast. Category 3. Winds of 111 to 130 miles per hour. Extensive damage. Large trees blown down and mobile homes badly damaged. Small buildings damaged. Fran in 1996 was a Category 3 and caused $3.2 billion of damage when it hit Cape Fear in North Carolina. It caused flooding rains up to Michigan. Category 4. Winds of 131 to 155 miles per hour. Extreme damage. Complete destruction of mobile homes and damage to other buildings. Hurricane Andrew raged across the Bahamas and southern Florida in August 1992 with winds of more than 140 miles per hour. It caused $26 billion in damages, the most property damage of any hurricane in history behind Katrina in 2005. Andrew was originally classified as a Category 4 hurricane, but was reanalyzed in 2004 and upgraded to a Category 5. Category 5. Winds greater than 155 miles per hour. A catastrophe. Complete destruction of mobile homes, complete failure of some buildings, and total destruction of roofs on many residences and industrial buildings. Major flooding. Camille in 1969 was a Category 5, with winds as high as 200 miles per hour. About 250 people died because of high winds and flooding in Mississippi, Louisiana, and Virginia. The strength of a hurricane depends on how fast the winds spin around the eye of the storm. Hurricanes spin somewhat like ice skaters. When skaters spin with outstretched arms, the spin is slow and skaters may be wobbly and unsteady. But when skaters tuck their arms in tightly, they spin faster and faster and are sharply upright. The tighter a hurricane is packed together, the faster its winds are. Hurricane force winds rip pieces off roofs, tear the siding off houses, and carry off toys, building materials, and other items left outside. These become missiles during a hurricane, dangerous to people as well as property. Category 4 Hurricane Hugo in 1989 battered Charlotte, North Carolina, about 175 miles inland, with 100 miles per hour winds that knocked down trees and power lines. Hurricanes also produce tornadoes. Tornadoes most often start in the bands of thunderstorms, well away from the eye of the hurricane. But sometimes, tornadoes are produced near the eye wall. Tornadoes produced by hurricanes are usually weaker than regular tornadoes and last only a few minutes. Some hurricanes set off dozens of small tornadoes. Hurricanes are deadly, not just because of their winds, but also because they produce such heavy rains. The rains cause flooding along the coastline, and even well inland, hundreds of miles from the coast. Torrential rains also trigger landslides and mudslides, particularly in hilly or mountainous areas. Flash floods happen without warning in low-lying areas. Flooding along the banks of rivers and streams can last several days after the storm. The amount of rainfall during a hurricane is not related to the force of the spinning winds, but rather to the speed of the storm. Slow-moving hurricanes produce more rainfall and can cause more damage from flooding than faster-moving, more powerful storms. Hurricane Floyd, which struck in September 1999, was a slow-moving hurricane that produced tremendous rainfall in the eastern United States. Many states became disaster areas. More than 50 people died from inland flooding caused by the rains, including 35 in North Carolina. The most costly hurricane in the United States was Hurricane Katrina in 2005. Katrina became a tropical storm over the Bahamas on August 23, 2005. It rapidly became stronger and crossed southern Florida as a Category 1 hurricane. Moving over the Gulf of Mexico, it became a Category 5. On the morning of August 29th, Katrina made its second landfall, this time in Louisiana. The storm surge caused catastrophic damage along the coastlines of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. Levees, or raised areas, separating New Orleans from Lake Pontchartrain were broken down by the pounding waters stirred up by the hurricane, finally flooding about 80% of the city and destroying more than 100,000 homes. Wind damage spread over a wide area inland as well. Katrina was responsible for as much as $100 billion in damage and the deaths of more than 1,000 people. More than 1 million people had to leave their homes in the aftermath of the hurricane. In 2005, there were 27 named tropical storms and 14 hurricanes, the most storms and hurricanes ever in a single season.